good.
So maybe that was it. Have a seat. We're live. So I don't know if someone finds us or not.
I'll join you in a minute. I'm going to be sitting in.
Do you want to sit here or do you want the king's throne? Pop out chat. Oops. I can slide over. I can say hello because we're actually live, but it's just a matter if anybody finds us. So we're having technical difficulties. I've tried the last 2 days now pretty much to create a live chat ahead of time, and it scheduled one and it wouldn't let me do it. I keep getting an error, which I hope is a New Year's thing.
Do you know if your subscriber has been notified that we are live?
It should be now. Yep, see, we've got one person on. Not sure who it is, but say hello. No, because the only thing is it should anyway, because if they're already subscribing, which is the little thing at the bottom there, and turn their notifications on, which is the little bell somewhere at the bottom, then they get a notice from email that we're live. So we're live without any notice whatsoever. So we have one person to entertain, so you have to say hello because somebody found us. But we're back from Celia, and Greg is back from Voss.
I am here.
He's studying over there.
I'm studying books. I'm studying stories before people shout at me.
And you got lots of cool things on. I got some stuff we can annoy Karl with, though, so it'll be fine. Or do you want to go with the obvious Happy New Year?
Happy New Year.
Happy
No,
New
you
Year.
can try to annoy me.
Now I can try to annoy you. Okay.
That's all right. We're watching Cleopatra later.
Oh, yes, we're watching Cleopatra later.
I hope you enjoy it.
So, what's the obvious annoying Viking question then? Did Vikings celebrate Happy New Year? Did they have calendar New Year?
I was going to check out on that. I think I consider midwinter to be kind of a New Year, but they're not thinking in the same terms as we are, so it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But when they're talking about age, they seem to be talking about this person is this and that many winters old. So the winter is the turnover point. So winter solstice would probably be their New Year. But I haven't read up on this, so take everything I say with a grain of salt.
So we don't actually know, but I'm assuming they would be quite happier that the sun was starting to pop out a little bit more. You found the sun!
Yep.
Want to talk about that? Are you feeling okay?
No. I've actually seen the sun for like 1.5 hours.
1.5 hours in Celia. So
Yep.
you're right on the ocean, and then you saw it. Otherwise, you didn't see it. It actually came out like mountain, and it came there, and then went down like around under more mountain, and then came back in again. But took a photo of you seeing the sun, and you got this nice little solar flare in your eye, which makes me think that something happened. Did you turn into a zombie or?
It's my inner demon who's not happy with
Light.
glowing object in the sky.
What did you do for New Year's Eve, Greg, and Christmas? Because we didn't see you in a while.
Christmas was at home with family.
Yeah.
Not doing a lot at all, just relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
New Year's was even more boring.
Yeah, well.
So
at least you didn't have a hangover from hell the next day, or
no,
did
true.
you?
No, I didn't.
Mm.
New Year's Day, I was up in the blacksmith forge working.
Ah, that's
so
right.
My forge is up and running.
Yeah, I saw you took a photo of your dad pretty much passed out on the couch. Not from alcohol, though, just tired. And then
yeah, well, he's got an infection in his face at the moment. So he went to the doctor, but they couldn't find any actual infection. But it seems like his sinuses are all inflamed, and he can't think properly because his face is hurting.
Okay, so he's got a free pass for not celebrating New Year's Eve properly.
Yeah.
We went through the little drinky things we got from Tuuril, or from, We found something to do with the banana one that everyone thought was disgusting. It was the Grinch.
Ooh.
You made it because you're the chemist, Viking mixologist. What did you do?
Let me see. No, I don't remember the recipe for the Grinch, but we can find it again quite easily.
I said
that was actually surprisingly good.
It was really good. It tastes like candy.
To the point where we are considering buying bigger bottles of banana alcohol.
I want one. We had the green Midori melon liquor was in it.
Yep.
But I thought there was was it rum? I will look it up.
No, we didn't open the rum bottle until later. So
I will look it up. Grinch drink recipe. No, we didn't have vodka.
we cheated. We used rum.
We did use rum instead of vodka. Okay. Yeah, this one says peach schnapps, Bacardi rum, citrus rum.
That's not it.
This one, Midori. Well, it's not on the right page, but rum alternatives. And a video and there's a low calorie alternative. Jump to the recipe. Okay. It's called a Grinch. It looked like a Grinch. Prep time 5 minutes because that's very important. Midori liqueur, that is the melon flavored one. Then there's clear rum, lemon lime soda, and a maraschino cherry. We didn't have cherries.
Yeah, no, that sounds right. That's the recipe we used.
Yeah. Did it work? Did you get tipsy?
Not from that one alone, but all the other experiments had me
What else did we make?
a little bit giggly.
Maria and Regina found us and Susan found us. Yay! In the Adirondack, Susan says they have 3 to 4 inches of snow in good Nalbinding weather. We have this much snow this morning. I was so excited because we don't usually have snow sticking to the ground in Gudvangen, just in the mountains. So I'm assuming it'll be gone tomorrow, but it was fun to wake up with Christmas-sized snowflakes. Regina says, Happy New Year, everyone. Maria says, hi, all. And Charlotte is here as well. She says, hi. So I'm glad you found us because we had technical difficulties. It would not let me schedule a live sending in advance for some odd reason. And then it wouldn't let me do a regular. We did a private test, and it worked out just fine. But as soon as I tried to put a description on the video, it wouldn't let me send it again and give me an error message. I don't know what it was. It says stream not cooperating. I don't know. Anyway, I can't figure out what it is. I'm hoping it's a New Year's bug. Because I even updated my computer and it's not that. It's not the internet.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
I don't know. If somebody knows why it didn't work, let me know. But anyway, I can post it after we went live. And I got the picture in there, and I don't know if you're able to see the photo for the start or if to see it posted somewhere, but it's a really nice photo of Grig's leather working and your new toy. You want to say what it is?
Yeah. Do you want to see?
Come. You've been practicing. Greg has been learning Viking Jingle Bell songs. It's completely historically accurate.
Isn't it, Karl?
I don't know. Carl's going to cry in a minute. Nell's here as well. They also got 5 centimeters of snow. That's Finland. Close to 10 centimeters from last night. Show your new toy.
It's my new toy.
You got to show it really close because he's got a snake on there. Look at that. It's so cool.
Thank you.
That was one of Donald's.
Indeed it was. One of Donald Shaw's.
What's his company name again? Is it
Inspirational Instruments?
Inspirational Instruments, I think, yeah. Yay. Okay, you have to play his Christmas songs because that's very, very Viking.
Very Viking music coming up.
And I'll start needle binding a little. Very festive. Yay! How come you didn't sing, Karl?
Why didn't you sing?
Oh, because I'm here to annoy.
Any of you ever heard me sing?
No.
No, but I was trying to dance enough to shake the couch that you're sitting on, and that almost made it look like you were dancing. Okay, you had another one too, another Christmas one, because one is not nearly enough to torture Karl with still.
More torturing Karl, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm afraid if I play any more, I'll lose all the notes. So that's as high as I can get.
You might want to shut the door behind you because you're getting a light glare. I don't know if you can.
No, it just looks like I've got a halo over my head.
It does look like you have a halo over. It's the Christian Christmas music in the Viking times. You also have a new tunic on.
I do.
You're looking very snazzy today.
Thank you.
So I forgot. Oh, Pruda made it! Yay! So we got Christmas music. So you have to. Well, I mean more than Christmas music. He's learning Viking songs too. So that would be everything Vardruna. I'm just pushing buttons here just to see if I get yelled at. Game of Thrones, that's Viking.
And there you go, you broke Karl.
Yep, that's all that. We have been picking movies over the last month with the Advent calendar thing. And we managed to watch 2 of them. How did you like Dogma? I love that one, though.
That one I didn't dislike.
What did you think of Dogma, Karl?
I liked it. It seemed more on the edge back in 2001 than it does today. But
yeah, I was kind of surprised about that too. I remembered it being more, more edgy then, but it was still good. Mm-hmm. And then we watched Conan the Barbarian with Arnold Schwarzenegger. How'd that make you feel?
I liked it.
No! You're supposed to get angry and tortured.
Because they are misrepresenting the Hyperborean time when Atlantis had sunk under the waves and Conan was laying the earth under his handled-clad feet. Yeah?
That's not realistic?
No, this is canon. This is, aside from whatever books Howard, the original author, wrote, the Schwarzenegger Conan is basically, that's the playbook. So whatever they do is right by definition.
I can push this further back and you can watch me stab Karl with a needle.
It's like arguing that the first Star Wars movie wasn't true to Star Wars. It's dumb.
But James Earl Jones had
a very cute haircut.
A very cute haircut. It was hard to take him seriously with those severe fringe bangs.
Darth Vader with hair doesn't work.
Darth Vader with hair turning into snakes. He turned into a snake, and he could take a snake.
Bit I missed.
Oh, you were snoring quite loudly. But but he could take a snake, he could straighten it out and use it like an arrow. And he shot it through Sonia, was her name?
No, Valeria.
Valeria. Oh, that's right. Sonia was the name of the actress. Valeria. And it led a killing blow. So how do you feel, Karl, about the accuracy of turning snakes into arrows?
Well, with enough magic, everything is possible.
Oh, man. He's not biting.
Don't worry, we're watching Cleopatra later, and Karl is going to watch it as well.
Oh, yeah. We can make him sit between us just like this.
I will watch it until I don't watch it anymore.
Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We have a plan to make sure he watches it.
You got his phone?
Stuff the phone.
Oh, so he can't Google in the middle of it?
Do you think I need to Google anything for that period of time?
No, but channel surf. You'd be surfing other things instead of watching it. We might need to make sure your eyes are open and firmly fixated on the beautiful Cleopatra.
They have one strike against them already because she's not supposed to be beautiful.
Oh, but she's gorgeous. Boobs for days and legs for days.
Obviously, she has boobs and legs, so she would be some kind of...
That's historically accurate.
Yes, it is historically accurate that Cleopatra had boobs and legs. She is not known as the legless, boobless wonder of Egypt.
You gotta. I'm just trying to be optimistically positive. No, but then you watch Warcraft. I think we talked about that last week that you watched Warcraft, or we watched half of it. I fell asleep. What did you think of that one?
It's like a bad cutscene from a computer game.
Well, it's based on a computer game.
Too long.
And then which one are we going to watch today? Cleopatra, that's right. Okay, and then...
Zulu.
Zulu, yeah! That was on the list before we started opening the calendar, so we got to do that. So we thought we might have to grab the DVD box and pick out 2 random DVDs.
Yeah,
might have to start that from next week though, and pick out one to watch. So, very snazzy tunic indeed, says Peruta.
Thank you.
You're looking very flashy. We filmed him today in the snowy village, playing Christmas music and other fun things, so he can post them on his Instagram on the Wolf Slayer Forge. I will show you how.
Thank you.
Maria says there's no snow here where she is. I'm assuming she's still in Denmark. It's always great using historical crafts equipment for modern things. Just look at our Nalbinding. Yes. I'm still working on this one again now. I did finish all the hats that I was supposed to make. 7 hats. Karl's family is looking very beautiful. Now I'm working on the other family. I got 1 down and 3 to go. But I have all of January because they're vaccinating here now. So there's no point catching up with them until they've got the vaccine, because as my former father-in-law would say, what did he say? We ran a marathon and we only have 100 meters to go.
Yeah.
So don't screw it up, which explains everybody's New Year's Eve plans. We were all celebrating individually because the corona numbers went up after Christmas, which was kind of expected from people traveling around from one part of the Europe to Norway to the other part, and then meeting in the middle. And then bringing it back. But do you think they all licked each other on New Year's Eve drunkenly, or do you think they behaved themselves?
Well, drunken licking is kind of a New Year's tradition, so I would guess some of it did occur. So
do you expect the numbers to go up again? We hit a new record, but then it went down in the last 2 days.
It seems to be stabilizing, but the people who got infected on New Year's Eve will not necessarily go to the doctor yet. So
they'll just think they have a hungover. But they're starting to vaccinate here. I talked to my mom. They're vaccinating over there, yes, as well, but they're doing it in a different order. Apparently, this one kind of took me by surprise. Apparently, a pharmacist decided to just leave a batch of them outside on purpose.
Yeah.
It's like sabotage, but why? I don't know if he's an anti-vaxxer or what, but then why would you be a pharmacist and do that? So I don't quite get that. Some guy in Wisconsin did that. Seems quite cruel, though, because those things have to be kept very, very cold. She said they're also having issues in the smaller cities that they have to build specific refrigeration units to handle them. Because you can't just drive up in a car to get your vaccination, because if you have anaphylactic shock or some sort of reaction to it, or pass out or get tired just because somebody stuck a needle in your arm, they can't have you driving right after that.
No.
So, anyway, so that's Corona. Maria needs to run off again. Gotta go eat dinner. Happy New Year. Thank you for finding us. Elf. I like that one. Elf says, greetings. This is my first time here, and I'm so glad I was able to catch this. How does one do a foundation chain for a single Dutch stitch? I don't know what the single Dutch stitch is, but you can start out like Oslo, stitch for any one of them, and then just change it. I think the single Dutch stitch is the Danish stitch. Might have more than one name. But you can just start out like you do with the Oscillostitch, and then just pick it out. But I think if you're doing the Danish one, I can do this. You'd have your end loop. Now you can't see shit. There you go, end loop. And then you have your yarn up. You go through your end loop that way. Wrap the yarn forward and then pull it out through. Of course, I don't want to do that because I'm not doing that stitch. But because if it's that stitch that I think it is, it could be really tight on the first row. So I would do also the first row and then add a few extra stitches and then do an extra row. And you can always pick out the first row if it looks like crap. And it won't go anywhere. So I'm making a scarf. But this is the Oscillostitch. I have to look that one up though. But thanks for coming to visit. I have a little topic list here. We had a mudslide. Who wants to explain that?
Well,
we had a mudslide in Norway.
Yeah, but it was on the other side, closer to where you live normally.
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes north of Oslo, and we're closer to Bergen.
Yeah.
But it made international news.
because of the ice ages, the northern part of the world, basically, in the ice ages, there are an enormous weight of ice pressing down on these plates. So Norway is still slowly rising from the water because it was pushed so far down during the last ice age. The sediment that is the problem is called quick clay, and it used to be seabed, so sedimentary. The problem is that under certain set of circumstances, it goes back to being liquid. So you basically have land lying on top of liquid, and if whatever keeps that liquid in place is removed for any reason, erosion, human activity, whatever, then you can have an entire bloody valley just disappearing through a small hole in this dike type of thing, which is basically what happened at what's the name of the place?
Alta? Or in
I
Trondheim?
don't know about the Alta thing. I'm thinking about the lightest one.
I thought that was the one in Alta.
No, the one now in the southern.
Oh, Yardrum.
Yeah.
Yardrum. It would help if I typed in the typing. Yardrum, Norway. Is where it happened. There's a video Peruta sent me that I can find and link. And you can see it explained as to what actually happens. There was one in Risil in 1970-something. And that, I think, ended up stretching about 40 kilometers. It's a good video, though. See, how do I copy that? Oh, well, that's not going to work. Copy link address there. This one, it kind of explains how it goes. But you can actually see whole farms falling into it.
Yeah, it's a mudslide, but it occurs on flat or mostly flat land. And it looks like a really quick-acting sinkhole.
Oh, it won't save. It's too big of a link for some reason. It's because it's going through Facebook. But it's only in the north, isn't it? Or it's only in the north, or in the Scandinavia, maybe parts of Russia, North America, like Alaska, North America, Canada, etc., isn't it?
Yes, because it's caused by the ice age, and you don't have this phenomena in areas that wasn't covered by thick layers of ice during the ice age.
Yeah, it's a quick clay. What do they call it? I have to type it out because the link is too long to post. The quick clay landslide at Risa. But there's a long video and a short video. Go for the long one. I don't know if you've seen it. It's really good, though. Anyway, it's the same phenomena theory, but 2 people did die, and 8 people are still missing, as far as I know. After that, I don't know anything else.
I looked at the news just now. I found 3 people dead.
They found 3. They're starting to go up to 100 meters in.
I think means that 8 are still missing. Right? I'm not sure about this.
But some of them may not be. The missing may not actually be missing in there. They might have been visiting somewhere for Christmas in the holiday season and just haven't been home. But the thing is, it went off. I think it started at 4 a.m. Yeah. It was at 4 a.m. that it happened. So a lot of people were abruptly woken. Apparently, there were 2 big, loud rumbling noises, and then whole houses fell in.
Yeah.
So scary stuff. I had a couple of people sending messages, but because I do live 30 minutes from Oslo, but I live 30 minutes south of Oslo, not north of Oslo. So this would have been closer to the airport. Pruda did the link. Good job. Yes, so we're glad we're safe. What are the chances of something like that happening here in Gudvangen?
We are on tunnel mass, close to the bedrock. Hypothetically speaking, we are on a lot of tunnel mass placed on top of whatever was here before that. So if whatever was here before that is slippery enough, then whoop-de-doo and bye-bye. But extremely unlikely, because you would have the same problem everywhere else in the world. The ice age is not a factor here. There is no quicklime beneath us.
Oh, okay. No, but so here our biggest thing would be a really huge avalanche, but it would take a lot for just any big rock to hit the middle of the valley, which is where we are.
Yeah, no, we are about as safe as we can be here.
Yeah. So we get a lot of avalanches here, but they won't roll to the middle as far as we are. We might get snow. It might look like it's snowing by the time it hits us.
No, what realistically the worst thing we can expect around here is we can theoretically be completely isolated by road. The tunnels keep catching fire, and the road over on the other end keeps being closed because of avalanches. So theoretically we can be caught between a burning tunnel and avalanche. But we still have a ferry queue, so unless this happens in the middle of winter when the fjord is frozen over, we are still in contact with the rest of the world.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So we'll survive back into the Viking Age, but we'll get there. Aliana Eldrondalen, I like that name. Happy New Year! What are you? And Lear is here as well. Happy New Year! So, do you want to play another song?
I can do.
Since Perut is here, I would like to make a request for Harry Potter, because that's very Viking. Hufflepuff. Karl is a Hufflepuff.
Can't play anymore because, again, I lose the notes.
Yeah, but that's all you need is just enough to tease Peruta with. All the way, Lyra seems to be extremely excited that you're also a Hufflepuff. She's a Hufflepuff too. How many Hufflepuffs do we have out of there? And Elf loves this that you're playing. Oh, that's good because he's learning. He got this for Christmas, so you need to send requests for things for Greg to learn. And well, I'm gonna be able to edit this video afterwards and put a description in. You'll see the links for where you can find him because we took a bunch of videos of him to post on his Instagram in the village with some music being played. Speaking of social media, Karl, you have a New Year's resolution. Do you want to share that with everyone?
My New Year's resolution is to be more active on social media, but because I've written a post and I've liked like 4 posts, I'm already much more active than I was entirety of last year. So
the last decade, actually. Your last updated post was 2013. Yeah. Can we expect to see you on YouTube?
We'll see what we can do. I can't really guarantee anything. I'm kind of a technical idiot.
Well, clearly I'm very capable of operating YouTube, so this shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Notice how I was able to post this one in advance. I'm so impressed, though, that people found us. See, we have at least 11 now already, and not at all at the same time. So that's, well, because we've had more than 11. But anyway, that they all managed to find us, considering I didn't post one single thing. I couldn't get it set up advanced. It was just live, boom, we're here. So I'm very happy about that. It might be that way next week for all I know, too, if I can't figure out what in the hell the problem is with this. Drea made it as well. But yeah, if you subscribe somewhere down there and then click the little bell for notifications, you'll get at least an email that says we are online, and we will go Saturday next week at 6 at the exact same time as this, 6 o'clock Norway time and whatever time it is there where you are. I had a little list of things we could babble about today.
Well, while you're looking up the list, I'll just say I'm a Ravenclaw too.
Did you find a Ravenclaw?
I found 2.
Elf is a Ravenclaw. Who's the other one?
One underneath it.
Spirit Walker Adventures. Oh, hello. I didn't see that one come in. Hello. Happy New Year. So it's 2 Ravenclaws, 3 Ravenclaws. Mm-hmm. There's at least 3 Hufflepuffs. This is very Viking, by the way. Any other Slytherins? Or is it just me? Meanwhile, I've chosen myself into Slytherin, so. William is making needles, and I have his needles. So if you you can send me a message, and hopefully I will see it. It's a
Groot is Ravenclaw as well, so that's 4 Ravenclaws.
Crap. Slytherin. Slytherin by choice. I think that's even worse than being just sorted into Slytherin. I guess that makes you naturally evil, but then I just choose to be evil.
5 Ravenclaws.
Oh my god. I'm a Puckwudgie. At live Livermorny, I am a Puckwudgie. I don't know what this one is. This is more. Monica Mullins is here too. She's also a Ravenclaw. My god. Not so cool to be a Hufflepuff anymore, is it? No, I don't know. And then, of course, there's nobody seems to be from Gryffindor either, I've noticed. My boyfriend Jason is a Slytherin, says Drea. That is good. I like that. Did he get sorted into a Slytherin, or did he just choose to become one like me? Always opt for the evil. Let's see, what else is going to ask? We have a story time to tell. Did you figure out what story you're going to tell? A little bit early on that one, but
a little bit early. But I think I have an idea for a story. So
okay, you keep working on that, and I will bring up Pruda's list of things to irritate Karl with. Vikings were white supremacists, Karl. True or false?
It's hard to get into their mind, but it's very unlikely that they considered race and color, at least in the Nazi kind of way. They seem to have no problem with the Slavs whatsoever. Norwegian kings married Slavic princesses all the time, and I'm sure the same thing happened the other way around. Marriage is a matter of alliances. And if somebody is powerful in their local community, that is power, the way they see it. They wouldn't go, oh yeah, but you're a powerful Slav or English or whatever. That doesn't count. They use terms to describe Native Americans and black people that might not be considered politically correct, but they don't seem to have anything particular against these people. And if they were more in contact with them, they would probably be doing marriage alliances there as well.
Marriage alliances, that followed on for a long time, like up until 100 years ago, isn't it, in Norway?
Well,
maybe more, a little more than 100 years ago.
Be pushing it. Then we are in the 1920s.
Yeah, no, pre-1900. I can do math. Oh, because there were farms, weren't they? They were marriage to increase their land or something.
Oh yeah, like that. But
yeah.
In that sense, it's probably going on today, to some extent.
Anybody got some land? Okay. Let's see. Oh, Elf is the same. That's Drea. Ah, cool. Oh no, she's Drea's talking to. Never mind. I'll just let them talk to each other. I missed that one. Livermorny is the American Wizarding School. He chose Slytherin, and I made him take the test to prove it. Nice. Happy New Year, Aunt Bunny. Hope everybody is feeling better over there. I understand there was a bit of COVID in the family. I don't know. Hope it's better. We've been staying pretty healthy here, but we're quite isolated from everybody else. And we're too afraid to go out. Well, not really, but we're getting there. Okay, Vikings raided and pillaged.
Well, of course. That's how people waged war 1,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of treating your enemy's civilians with respect is shockingly new. Sometimes what it took to be considered extremely honorable in the medieval time is to be nice to the nobles you captured from the enemy and keep your word. But obviously you will plunder and steal everything you need when traveling through your enemy's territory. When two English kingdoms, like Northumbria and Mercia, for instance, go to war with each other, they will plunder each other very efficiently. The difference is that they will stay away from each other's monasteries, because now you're getting in trouble with God, and he is a little bit too powerful to be messed with. The Vikings wouldn't care. They would just go, yeah, but that's just silly because that's where all the silver is. So obviously we're going for the monasteries. So the Vikings make a lot more money plundering and pillaging than other people do. And that motivates them. So I'm guessing they, after a while, got pretty good at it.
But were they only raiding and pillaging?
Well, not only. You have to row to get there. But it depends. It's the definition thing. If you define Vikings like we do, that basically every Scandinavian who lived between the year 793 and 1066 is a Viking, then no. Just a tiny fraction of these people ever raided anything. But if you use the narrowest definition, then Viking means rider, and yeah, all of them are riders. All the riders are riders. That's a tautology.
You have anything you want to add?
No, I think Karl pretty much covered everything.
Considering you're from England, didn't that get
but he
raided and pillaged a few times?
Yeah, but England was kind of ruled by him for a while, so how can we really complain?
There you go. Okay, as long as you're getting something out of it, that's all that really matters. The other thing is, eventually the picture will go back. You'll be able to see the picture of this one, and you'll see there is not just a leer on the front. There is leather working.
Mm-hmm.
You want to show them how you've used your Viking life into your modern life?
Yes. Well, we can start off with maybe the Viking life part of this, which is this one. You can probably do the demonstration as it's.
Yeah. See what it is? It's a box, and it's made out of plastic. No,
yeah,
it's leather, really thick leather. And he has made a. Are you done with it, or no? You're still working on it.
It's a very rough design on this.
But this is burnt in, yeah.
Yes,
yeah, burnt in. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe if I tilt it a little bit. And it's got a picture of the lyre on there because you're putting this in it, which is what, the tuning.
That's the tuning.
I don't know if I can see that on there, but yeah.
It's just the tuner and picks as well.
The guitar pick for the Viking lyre. Mm-hmm. I like it. No, you're gonna have to get vampiric fingernails, and then you'll be on cue. Oh, but it's cool. So you made that, and did you stain this? Yes, you did stain the cover at least.
Yep, the outer and 2 parts of the inner part of the box as well.
Okay, show me the next one.
The next one I made was this.
Yes. So it looks like a box. You got symbols on there. Yep, there's some more symbols. You can tell me about those in a minute. And there's another specific symbol down there. Don't know if you can see them. No, you can't. There. And these are the other ones. This one's also been stained. There they are. I like these ones. But you can see there's stitching on the side here going this way because you got smart.
Well, tried to.
Whoa, it's not just a box. It's a cupboard. So what are you going to use this for? I see there's something shiny in there already.
This is going to be used for probably storing cards for card games and things like that in it.
Mm-hmm. So what are the symbols? The sun?
Yeah, just light in general. A dew or raindrop. So water is next to it.
Yeah.
And
it's upside down there.
It's upside down, but the other one is a fire symbol.
That one. That's the same one you're doing in your forge, aren't you?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I just
and
love that
this nice little mysterious one down here.
That's the symbol for the card game in question.
You want to say what it is? Or do you want to show them the next one?
It's up to you.
It is Magic the Gathering. Another fun pen. You better grab that one. I'm going to knock it on the floor. It's another pandemic exercise.
There we go.
Oh my God. This thing is huge and heavy. There you got the symbol again on the front. But this one, you're going to have to help me by pulling the top off.
Yeah.
This is so that it doesn't fall apart when you travel.
You want to turn him around because the other way is.
Oh, you've got the other symbol. With the double.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You pull it up.
So it might be easier if it's on the table.
That would be too easy.
This is tight on purpose because, of course, leather gradually expands, and yeah, it needs to be quite tight.
You got on here too. So you
Yes.
can use this for Magic the Gathering cards, but I'm seeing sewing kit. Anyone else with me on that? Oh, but you've got all the cool little compartments. And because the way you have the cover on it, it won't come apart.
Exactly.
I want to put some, I could, needles, thread, scissors, tape measure. Ooh, dice. Won't need dice for that though anyway, but no, this thing is cool. How long did it take you to make it?
2-3 days. Took quite a while.
Okay, when I think quite a while, I think 2-3 weeks. I'm pretty impressed. No, but it's a pandemic, so you've had some time. But what made you think of the idea?
I don't really know. It just sort of
Hold it up.
Just sort of came to me one night while I couldn't sleep, and I just thought, I could make that. And then, of course, I couldn't sleep anymore because I had thought of the idea, and so I started working.
But you did it all.
Yeah.
With nice thick leather, too.
Yes.
And all the stitching. What was the worst part, the stitching or the cutting?
Probably the stitching.
Yeah,
primarily because, in particular, with this one, with the middle compartment, it's very tricky to get my big hands in there to stitch it properly.
Oh yeah.
So what I had to do was stitch the inner shelves in first,
these pieces,
and then stitch the back on, and then stitch the top on, and do it like that. Otherwise, I'd have never been able to get it stitched properly.
So if you were to sell these, not Corona, just nudge. It would be super expensive, but definitely worth it. And then you could have them custom to custom compartments to whatever size. I'm going to give you that before I drop it and break it.
No problem.
It might be leather, but I'll find a way.
Well, the inner part is also hardened with beeswax, so if you did drop it, that would probably
save it.
Beeswax would probably crack slightly, and I'd have to.
Does that make it slightly waterproof too? Then
makes the inner part slightly waterproof, but it also was done primarily because it hardened the leather shelves, so they could, so they could support more weight on them.
Well, the water elementals will be very pleased. You can contact William to order needles, or you can let me know after this and I'll send you a photo of his needles. He's got wooden ones and horn. He's got the contraband needles that would be plastic, but they're with like this marbling effect to it. I can send you pictures of them. They got round and flat. This isn't his, but it's like his. And the needle eyes are about the same on his as well. 2 needles, 2 eyes, 3 eyes, and 1 eye. But yeah, you can send me a link and I'll send you a photo after, or send me a message and I'll send you a photo of them. But they go through him. I just because I have them on me and he doesn't, then I just send them. Drea says she's been doing some genealogy and she needs to verify these links, but she might be descended from Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish nobility, starting at her 37th grandma or so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you all related to nobility in this little country of Norway?
We go far enough back, everybody's related to everybody else, but
yeah, we need to go.
So you're cousins with Karl?
Karl?
You're related to Karl.
The thing is that we didn't have surnames until mid-1800s, I think.
Yeah.
And then you have something similar pretty much all over Europe. Surnames are not a common thing. So you have one thing that didn't do in Norway is to have surnames that are also occupations. There are very, very few of those.
Yeah.
They're very common in England. Thatcher,
carpenter,
Smith, carpenter, butcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I did in Norway is generally to take father's name,
Miller.
so Olsen, Hansen, etc., or the farm they're living on right now, if that has a common name. So my surname, Aardal, is because my family or the people I descend from lived at a farm called Aardal when they started having surnames.
But then you have Anderson, Olsen, Hansen, or Oleson. It would be like Ole's son, Hans' son, sen. Sen typically if it's Norwegian, son if it's Swedish, but not always the case.
SON also in nynorsk.
And nynorsk also, okay. That would be the exception there. And then my ex's family's name, Byom, that is from, I think it's of the city because they're from Oslo. So then it would be, I don't know if it was actually a farm or village, but it was of the city. But the Byom's a very uncommon name in Norway. And I think there are more Byoms in the United States because 3-4 generations ago went to the United States and multiplied like rabbits. But they didn't do that here. So that's quite cool though. Dragon Ruler 4. Hello. Boxes. Drea's very excited now. Turin says, damn my memory and also damn the notifications didn't remind me. No, but they hope that didn't. Yeah, it's not your fault. It's because for some reason I was having technical difficulties and it wouldn't let me schedule an event in advance, a live streaming in advance. It would let me go live right now without a description. But that's as far as we could do. So it was kind of surprise. Let's hope you have a really good memory and let's hope that you've subscribed, turned on your notifications and get a notice that we're going live now. But we did really well. Now we're like over 20 people that found us without any notification whatsoever. I usually spam on about 30 different groups and I didn't do it this time. They like the sewing kit. That is a rad sewing kit. See, now I see sewing kit too. Magic the Gathering be damned. I want it as it's a sewing kit. It's a sewing kit. It's not a Magic the Gathering
just
kit.
move this as far away from Karin.
You're among my people now. Charlotte says, wow, to the leather work.
You want to sell them, just to roll with it.
Yeah.
True. Well, I can make them.
Carl is now Greg's pimp. So if you need any of his leather wares, you just talk to his pimp over here. How much percentage are you going to take, Karl?
I don't think I see a long future in being Greg's pimp.
Long future? Okay. Anyhow, Spirit Walker says, you are super talented.
Thank you.
Turin says the stitching is very time consuming. So she definitely appreciates that. Any tips for starting out Nalbinding? I'm struggling super hard with just the basics at this point, and I'm not sure the background in sewing, knitting, and crochet is hurting or helping. It is helping in one direction and it's hurting in another. People with a strong background in knit and crochet tend to understand the concept of building an item. If you're going to make a sock or a sweater or a bag, you have an idea of how to construct it. Whereas because you have to make a pattern anyway, so you'll get that one much together. You'll also understand the idea of increasing and decreasing. If you increase, you do 2 stitches in the same loop. If you're decreasing, you take 2 stitches together, kind of a thing, which is exactly the same in crochet and often knitting. The downfall is you have to rethink. You're making solid knots. Whereas somebody who's new to it completely will get that probably a little bit quicker. It's a bit like teaching an old dog new tricks. So you're an old dog like me. The Oscillostitch is the fastest one to learn. It's a little tricky at first, but the idea is to make a chain and just keep going. And when you pull it, it'll lock together. This is a chain. Maybe that's easier to see. As you're doing it, it might be all loopy and such, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. You might just have to stretch it together. But if I could give you one recommendation, it would be to just make a long chain and just keep going and screw what it looks like and just keep going and going and going and going. Eventually, you'll see a pattern develop and it'll click. But stretch it as you go. The Oscillostitch, there's 2 ways to do it. Most videos will show you the old loop behind the thumb and you go away from you. Let's see if you can see that this way. You go away from you and then you turn and you go down under one on your thumb and under the lead yarn and pull through. And then you take the old loop off and that's your first one behind. Or you could leave 2 loops on your thumb. This is the exact same thing. Go under the old loop, take it off, turn, then go under the one on your thumb and the leader one. It's the exact same motion. But if it helps you to find that loop behind your thumb by leaving it on your thumb, do it. But keep going and then pull it in place. But don't worry about making anything. Just make a long chain and just keep going until it clicks. And then you're ready for the next step. You can do it. Okay. Elf says, I know that Nalbinding is different from knitting and crochet, but is Nalbinding see-through like crochet and area? Yeah. It's not necessarily the needle that decides how thick it is. It's your thumb. If you use thin yarn and this stitch, also, for example, will be very airy. If you use a fat yarn with the same stitch, it will be much tighter. How do you contact William? At William Solberg. I think he's on. Well, he's on Facebook. Send him a message. He will find you. I will send you a link to him as well. I have to find him on there. I have his phone number. Spirit Walker says Nalbinding is a tighter stitch. Like it can be, depends on the stitch that you use. There's however many ways you can tie a knot. There is a stitch. There's a really good site called New Lockintot, if I'm not butchering it. FI, but if you do the English, I can do this. EN. That's a good one. There's also a Nalbinding group on Facebook, which I would highly recommend because we're very quick to answer questions there. On Facebook. Greg, you tried to learn how to needlebind once. How'd that work out for you? So you're not alone. If you can't get needlebinding, there's always leather working, but no, it has to speak to you though, because the thing is I threw it at the wall. When I was first trying to learn this, there wasn't any videos online, or actually there were 2 videos online and I didn't know that they weren't the same stitch. So I ended up throwing the thing at the wall a million times, but I still wanted to pick it up and learn it because I'll be damned if I can't find another way to use all this yarn. I have lots of yarn. Karl, you've seen my house now. Would you like to comment on the amount of yarn I have?
Excessive.
That's putting it nicely. He hasn't seen the amount I have stored in the attic or in the storage unit below or behind the bed. Or
You know these big cabinets that people have in their living room with knickknacks behind glass doors? Yarn. Just yarn, nothing else.
I have my yarn on display. That's the good yarn too.
Very colorful, but it's just yarn.
I don't do knickknacks. I do yarn. I think there is nothing more decorative than a yarn cake of Malabrigo or Nordo.
I counter it with swords and weapons.
You do have swords and weapons. You brought weapons, but we did look a little bit of them last week, actually, online or on YouTube last week. I see my kid is here. Trash. That's a good name. Hi, Cecilia. Happy New Year. Let's see. Oh, you got to tell a story. Tell us. Don't worry. We'll go tell a story. We'll tell a story.
You only have 5 minutes.
I don't give a rat's, but we can go over. Tell a story.
So I'll try and do a quick story this week. This is the tale of Gylfi and Gefjon. Now, Gylfi is actually a king of Sweden. And he, one day, traveling in disguise, not telling anyone who he was, he actually stops by an old beggar woman who he asks for hospitality. And she grants what hospitality she has. Now, she doesn't have a lot. She only has bare ground, and she has a roof made of tree leaves and the stars beyond it. But she shared everything she had, food, scraps, anything that she had, she shared it with Gylfi. And when he comes to leave, he says to this old hag woman that as she has been so kind and she has shared everything that she has with him, he was going to do the same, and that he was actually the king of Sweden and he was not as poor and destitute as he has pretended to be. And the old woman, she looks at him and kind of just sniffs haughtily at this. And he tells her that he is going to give her as much of the land of Sweden as she wants, that she can plough with 4 oxen in one day. So there is a time constraint, and there is also a limit to how much she can get in that particular time period. What Gylfi does not know is that Gefjon is actually, or this old woman is actually Gefjon, who is a goddess. And once he has declared his intentions that she may travel and collect as much land as she can get in one day, they part ways, and she trunches off into Jotunheim, and she goes there to collect her 4 sons, who are in the shapes of oxen. They are sons of hers and a giant who she had met as well. And she harnesses them to a yoke, and she has them plough the land. And because these are no ordinary oxen, they are able to pull and plough to such a degree that they actually loosen the land from the bedrock itself. And they are able to pull part of the land away from Sweden. And she, Gefjon, laughs as her 4 sons drag this piece of land away. And the oxen made their way slowly westward. And they were reeking with sweat by the time they had done. But they waded off into the sea, and they were hauling the land behind them the whole time. Eventually, they stopped in the middle of a sound. And Gefjon tells her sons to leave the land here. And it has to remain there until the end of the world. This is what she declares. And she then declares that this fertile land will be known as Zealand. And the area that it was ripped away of then is flooded with water. And this is where you find that, according to the myths at least, this bit of land is what makes Denmark larger and also at the same time made Sweden smaller. And if you look at where this was ripped away from, the lake that formed there became a lake that they now call Molar. And this is why the headlands of Zealand fit in the inlets and bays and the bights of Lake Molar. So, thank you.
Yay! So, did you decide what you're going to tell us next week? Because I'm going to force you to come back.
I haven't decided yet, but I will have a think.
So he's taking requests, so you have to send some messages, and I'll force them down his throat. And then is that you're taking musical requests too?
To a certain extent. Remember, I'm learning with the music, so...
Yeah, but we're here to help you learn, one frustration at a time.
And remember, I only have 7 notes.
You can't do high notes. So.
No.
No. And then, Karl, can I invite them to find as many interesting facts, true or not, of Viking Age to irritate you with?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yay, he's going to come back. And then we'll come back on Saturday at 6:00. I'm just going to take a quick to see if we forgot anything. Oh, there's some fun comments here, though. Let's see. Ooh, Dragon for Ruler has several needles now and can't figure out how to get the tensioning as it is a hot mess. Try a tighter stitch or a thicker yarn, and then go back and try to relearn the other ones later. But just focus on doing. If you do Oscillostitch with a thick yarn, something like, I don't know, that thick altogether, at least it'll be a little bit easier for you. And you can always learn a denser stitch after that. But you can send questions on that Nalbinding group on Facebook, and I and other people will be quick to help you because we live for that. Oh, and Turin said she's definitely subscribed on the bell, but didn't see the notification until just a few minutes ago. She was doing Duolingo Norwegian studies and a bunch of other stuff. Oh, that's good. Well, I hope it sends a notification, but you would have literally got a notification that we are on now and not in advance because of something I have to figure out how to fix on YouTube. Lyra's making her daughter a rainbow hat in York Stitch. Oh, cool. Next is Mammon. You will like it. Mammon is a bit denser, just remember. Drea says, thank you for this meeting today in the Ravenclaw common room. We will make Vikings into Harry Potter and it will drive Karl insane. No. And by the way, Turin says yarn is extremely decorative. And Lyra says she has a great basket now used as a decorative thing in the living room and it's overflowing. You don't have a problem. That's normal. And Trash, my Cecilia daughter, says, I haven't seen you since last year. I miss you too. Cecilia, you're going to come and be with us next week. But we're going to see you tomorrow, maybe. Turun says, glad she caught the end. She will go back and watch the part and miss later and tomorrow. Oh, that's good. I will be able to post a link. Thanks for joining. Do you want to say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
You want to say bye-bye? Thank you. We'll see you next weekend or next Saturday, but I'll post a link. Bye-bye. Big hugs and thanks for finding us. End.